Thank you. So raise of hands, who here has taken an Uber, called a Lyft, ridden in a taxi? Most of us. All right, thank you. So I think I've learned more about forgiveness in 3 or 4 months of driving Uber than I did the first 2 years of Bible college. When I was younger, I thought hearing the other person's apology, accepting it, that was forgiveness. And we would move on and everything would be great. But as an adult, I'm finding that's not as easy or simple as a concept. Many, many years ago, I had a boss who fired me for a wrongful accusation. He thought I was stealing his clients, working those jobs under the table. Well, about a year later, he calls and says, I caught the other guy doing it. He confessed to everything. You're innocent. I'm so sorry. So I think I've forgiven him. I'm not mad. I run into him from time to time. We have cordial conversations. But when I do see him, I still remember what happened. When I was in junior high, I had a girlfriend who ran across the street, slept with my best friend, because I said no. Now, I'm not mad. I'm happily married to my high school sweetheart for 32 years. But why, when I recall my childhood, is that story so strong? So I don't think forgiveness is the problem. I think it's not remembering. I think, in other words, the problem is forgetting. And you may be okay with that, and the question might be, what does that have to do with Uber? Well, let's remember what Uber is. It's legalized hitchhiking. But no longer is it a thumb, it's a finger on an app that connects you, a stranger, with a complete random stranger, and it's legal. What kind of strangers have I given rides to? Well, I've given a ride to a guy from a normal house in a normal neighborhood to drug rehab. I've given a ride to an elderly woman from a hotel room to her car just 1.5 miles away, hidden in the neighborhood, so that her abusive husband couldn't find her the night before. I've given a ride to a woman who absolutely speaks no English. We learned that in the first 30 seconds. Going to the OSU bus pickup for a bus to Chicago. We missed it by 3 minutes. I think she called the Uber too late. She throws the phone in my face. I see the bus. I call the receptionist at the helpline. They say, I've got 5 minutes to make it to downtown Columbus, and maybe I'll get her on that bus to Chicago. I did, thanks to some Dukes of Hazzard driving and no police officers anywhere to be seen. So what are these strangers and other stories I could tell you? What do they have in common? When they get into the vehicle as a passenger, as a stranger, they are a blank slate. I don't know anything about their past. I have nothing to remember. I have nothing to forget. All that matters is I got him to drug rehab. I got her safely to her car. I got her to the bus that gets her, for whatever reason, to Chicago. It's not the past that matters. It's their future. And that reminds me of the prophet Isaiah, who spoke about the future. He said one would come after him that would blot out our transgressions. And it literally says, after that, remember our sins no more. And as I drove these passengers, I began correlating these strangers, these blank slates. And it reminded me that when I forgive, I should strive to forget. It is my desire that those of us in this room listening online, myself included, the next time we forgive, that we intentionally and purposefully strive to forget. I'm calling this process Uber forgiveness. I thank Uber for reminding me this modern reminder on a centuries-old way to live. I hope that you'll share that. We should. We must. Thank you.